Alright, we're back like we never left. So thanks, everybody who's checking this out, this level 7 walkthrough. I would have liked to have had this up sooner, but it's been about 1,000 degrees where I'm at, and it's just now cooling off. Getting back to it, so I'm going to go ahead and get this together, and I've got my level 8 video in the tuck ready to go too. I just got to get that together. So yeah, we got the level 7 tips, tricks, strats. This map does have 4 extraction points. Just like every other map that has 3 or more extraction points, we're going to start out front loading as much value in the card as we can. And then we're going to load up the next money bag, leave it at extraction point 2, then go clear 3 and 4, come back for 2, and then get back to the truck and finish the map. Definitely want to put emphasis on reminding beginning players of that, because it is, in my opinion, a very crucial strategy for completing the maps that have more than 3 or more extraction points. So with that being said, as we go along, I'll just point out what I think is important to know. But I always try to put things through the lens of what would I have liked to know if I'm just starting to play. And with that in mind, let's see what's going on here. This room in the museum does have, as you can see, a lot of parkour elements. I went back to the truck and got that extra jump upgrade just so that I could get up to those higher levels, because there can be items on the tops of all of them, even the ones way up by the ceiling. You can get tricky moving through those platforms, but it's not too bad. And also they have those like motion sensor laser things. They're not really too dangerous as long as you pay attention to your surroundings. And even if they do hit you, I don't think they do any damage. I've never been hit by one, so I'm not sure. I do throw monsters into them sometimes, but I'm not sure exactly how much damage they do. While I have a second, I do want to say that I appreciate anyone who's already checked out any of the other tutorial videos I've posted, and I hope that new players who have looked at those videos have gotten something useful from them, for sure. And I always encourage anyone who wants to share any questions or ideas or comments in the comment section, because I definitely enjoy like interacting with you guys that are taking the time to watch my videos. A lot of positive vibes in my comments too. I just want to shout out you guys who keep the vibes up. Really appreciate it. Oh, that's not great. Man, he really got me from way over there. I didn't even know he could hit from that far away. I know now. Hope it was worth it. I do have extra meds in the truck, so I'll be good. Go heal up real quick. Be right back at it. Yeah. It's always good as you go through the levels, you pick up, spare meds and stuff like that to keep in the truck for just such an occasion. In my opinion, it's good to have those. It's always good to have those. Another thing that I've said in previous videos that I'll repeat now, though, is as far as my upgrades go, I always prioritize trying to get my strength upgrades up, and then health upgrades and stamina upgrades I prioritize as well right out of the gate. And then to kind of manipulate the shelves in the shop, I will buy up like range upgrades and all the blue upgrades, and then even some of the other ones too, and then just stack them in the truck and let them sit. That way when they're replaced, the next time I get in the shop after I clear a level, it increases my odds of getting more strength and health upgrades. And then once I get to 9 strength upgrades, then I will take whatever I have in reserve that I've accumulated in the truck, I'll hit them all at once. Because once you have 9 strength upgrades, you can ragdoll any of the monsters except for the Trudge. And once you have 13 upgrades, you can do it to Trudge also. He's the heaviest of all the monsters. But once you have 9 strength upgrades, and also by then you've accumulated like some range upgrades, it's really hard for any monsters to get anywhere near you. As long as you're aware, you know. Because you can reach them and move them around from like almost the other side of a room. Now the flip side of that is sometimes I will find myself in trouble when I get to like say level like 8 or 9 or 10, and maybe I haven't gotten to my 9 strength upgrades, and by that point I have like, let's say 8, right? 7 or 8 strength upgrades, but I have all my range upgrades sitting in the truck. But now I'm on a level where there's a lot of monsters, and I do get myself in trouble like sometimes, because I might have 4 or 5 or 6 monsters coming at me at one time, and if I had my range upgrades I could reach them and throw them around, you see. But without the range upgrades, a lot of times if I'm in that situation where I haven't like popped all my range upgrades yet, then it can be a problem. But that's the trade-off, I think, for the way I approach the game anyway. I'm not saying that any one way that I play or any particular strategy I use is the absolute all-time best way. It's just the way that, at least so far, that I find works best for me. And I think just like with almost any game, different people have different play styles, so there will be different strats and different approaches to the game that probably work better for some players that have different play styles. But I do believe that the things that I'm sharing as far as like tips and strategies, I believe for a newer player, for somebody who's just trying to get comfortable with how the game works and to be proficient at it, I think that the things that I'm sharing are pretty universal. Alright, so the quota is like 13, almost 14k. So I know that there's going to be about 70k in valuable items. And I'm just guessing that I'll probably end up with maybe 20k in orbs from eliminating monsters. So I'm just going to estimate that I'll come out of this level, I'm going to say 90k, 95k. Say 95k. We'll see. And everything that, like all those numbers I just said, it's complete approximating. There's like, sometimes there's way more than that, sometimes there's less. I just know for starters that there's 4 extractions. So with 14k per extraction, that's just under 56,000. That's just in the quotas. So we'll see. Okay, that shadow sound in there is okay. Let's see what the clowns got going on. What's good, Bozo? Now, I really don't need to mess with the Shadow Chow there. I'm just greedy. And I'm gonna put Bozo to sleep. Handle this. Now, I could just go ahead and, like, pop him with this pistol. But I hit him with the Trang. He's out of commission for 15 seconds. So I know in that 15 seconds, I can save the ammo and just hit him against the wall and get his orb the same way. Oh no. Oh, these guys. No, get out of here. Get out of here. These guys will destroy your orbs super quickly. Like a lot of the items, they have to hit multiple times to destroy them. but they only have to hit an orb one time and it's gone. So I'm glad there weren't all 4. The gnomes usually travel in groups of 4, by the way. But sometimes there might be just 1 or just 2 every once in a while. Now, because there were just 2, that means there are 2 more around somewhere. I'll tell you what's really my favorite is when there's like I guess it's a glitch, I don't know, and every now and then on a map there might be 3 of the same monster, and a group of 4 gnomes counts as 1 monster, right? So every once in a while you'll get 3 groups of 4 gnomes on the same map, all traveling together. And that's crazy. That's like a swarm of bees coming at you or something. And there are ways you can get out of trouble with that. You just get up on some high ground or something like that. But sometimes in the later levels, you'll be trying to deal with like 3 or 4 other monsters, and then boom, here comes 12 gnomes all at one time. I tell you what, you get 12 gnomes and a peeper on the ceiling. That gets interesting. We got 31k plus 11k in the tuck. Get this little dude out here. That's animal's he's easy to take care of. But when he comes running in, his movement is very unorthodox and kind of random. But he's a pretty weak monster as far as strength goes, as long as you get to him before he gets to you. There are videos available on YouTube that offer like the information on the different tiers of monsters and how much damage each one does with their attacks and how much health each one of them have. And some of them go into great detail, so I don't know all the exact numbers for all the monsters. Some of them I do. Most of them I don't know the exact numbers. But the information is out there for anyone who's interested in trying to know like the details. Alright, so our upgrades are pretty good so far. After this map, we should be able to get, I think, everything else we need. As long as there are strength upgrades in the shop, which there should be. And then going into level 8, should be able to max out. I should be able to use all the reserve upgrades that I have sitting in the truck. And then that's like a real boost in like what you can do. Alright, so now we're just going to look for a second extraction. And leave the money bag there. And then continue looking. And accumulating more value. Alright, here we go, right over here. Now you see I walked past all those little valuables that were on the wall and those little pigeonholes because I wanted to get my money bag here first. Like that's the priority. Get the cart empty, secure the bag in front of the extraction point, and then go on with the level. And real quick, while nothing's going on, I do want to let you guys know, for anyone who's interested, I'm preparing to start live streaming some of my R.E.P.O play, and I don't think it will be like an everyday thing, nothing like that. But I'm going to try to do it a couple times a week, and I'm going to try to get my first one going. I want to say maybe tomorrow, but probably Sunday. And when I say that, today is Friday the 1st. So that will either be, Saturday the 2nd or Sunday the 3rd. But when I do get ready to go live, I'll definitely put something in my community page or just something where if anyone is subscribed, and I hope all you guys are, or at least some of you are, and those who aren't, it'd be awesome if you did. But if you have notifications enabled, it'll let you know. So there's that. Alright, so we're lining up the big statue, the pile statue. Just because it's big, and I'm going to go ahead and get it over there. One less thing. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get these valuable items off the wall. In the museum map, there are vents in the walls that you can get into and crawl through. And a lot of the times there will be items in the vents, or the vents will take you to different levels. Like, you know, like different altitudes where there may or may not be more valuable items. To get into the vents, you just open them, you grab them, and pull the scroll wheel. Then I jump, sprint, and slide. Now in there, I just went like halfway up and could look up and didn't see anything, and I know that if I can't see them by then, there's nothing up there. But if there were items in that particular vent, then at the top, I would open the vent at the top and then just drop them out of there into my cart. The bangers, they travel in groups of 3, kind of like the gnomes travel in groups of 4. There's nothing to them. They're really no threat. They just chase you and blow up. Get them out of the way pretty easy. Solo gnome, these are some more around. Not a threat, just something that I know I need to be aware of. Awareness is pretty crucial in this game. I mean, that's pretty much every game, but you know, there's a lot of time on every level where there won't be much going on, but then you might have these little 30-second, 1 minute long blocks of time where like everything is going crazy all at once. So the more you're aware of what's going on around you, you know, the better you can react to those moments. This little martini glass thing, when they first put that in the game as a new item, when you pick it up, it's like it has a drink in it, right? And when it was brand new in the game for like the first week, if you spilled it, like it usually has about 5,000 total value, right? And when it was new in the game, if you spilled it, it would take like 2 or 3K of value off of it. And I noticed recently that they changed it to where if you spilled it, it only took a few hundred off, so it's much better now. Alright, let's see what's going on with the OG. I'll tell you something about the Huntsman. If you're ever around him and you see him messing with the stairs, you can kind of let him do his thing because he always falls down the stairs when he walks down them. So anytime, just like that, he'll always fall, and he'll always take a little bit of damage from it. So he's going to fall again. Boom. See, I let the stairs do the damage for me and then finish up with the weapons. I think I've said it before, but in my opinion, the pulse pistol is way underrated. You can do a lot of damage with it if you use the physics of it right. Like if you shoot low, like if you notice I shot towards like his feet, so that means it's going to go way up in the air. So not only will he take the damage from the first shot, but he'll take whatever damage from falling and hitting walls and bouncing around it, and then hitting the floor too. Right, so there's only okay, there's one extraction. There's only a couple rooms left to do. Yeah, get out of here. Okay, so just right now I'm trying to see kind of what spots I want to hit in what order. So now I know where the last two extractions are. And that one, do that one first. I maybe could have done the other one first, left that one because it's a little bit closer, but I think since we're finishing the second extraction point last, I don't think it really makes much difference one way or the other with 3 or 4. Like in which order we do them. Okay. So my drink just spilled in my cart, but that's fine. It was only a few hundred. Yeah, so I think unload some of these larger items and then go see what else I can get in my cart. I feel like that's the best way to go most of the time, especially when you already have located the extraction, you're close to it. The big items are just going to get in your way in the cart. Get some work here. I get probably a little too petty with the monsters sometimes. Like I could have already had it. I could have like used my pistol and taken them out. But I'd be trying to make an example out of them. Yeah, like right then, I was hoping that would have shot him way up in the air, but I'm still fine with the result. I think I said it in my level 1 through 5 video. The clown, he has 2 attacks. You just saw one, his laser attack. He always makes a noise, a very specific noise, right before his nose turns red. Oh, see, that's what the nose will do to your orbs. But yeah, the clown always he makes a very specific, like, weird buzzing noise before he starts shooting the laser out of his nose. So you always know when it's coming. And when he starts shooting, he shoots at whatever the level of where your eyes are. So if you're standing up, that's the laser will be shooting towards where your head was when you're standing. If you're crouched, well, same thing. I say that because as long as you know that, it makes it much easier to get out of the way of where the laser is going to be. And in that situation, I was far away from him, and he was on one level, and I was at the top of the stairs. So there wasn't much threat because there was so much distance. But a lot of the times, you can get really close to him as long as you know how to dodge that laser. But he does have a second attack, which makes it very dangerous for you to get very close to him, because when you get very close to him, he will do this kick, and he has, the great big giant clown feet with the clown shoes, and he will kick you, and it does like 60 damage, I think, and it knocks you like far back. So then if you hit a wall or something, you take damage from that too. But there are ways, if you know the distance, once you get used to it, you can bait that kick. You can stand just out of reach of it. If you know when he's kicking, you can jump when he kicks, and the kick will miss you. It will go underneath your jump. So there are ways to, as long you know his attacks, you know when they're coming and where they're coming, you can use that to your advantage. feel like that little gumball machine thing with the hypnotizing thing. I feel like I just realized like a week ago that it's got little brains in it. It's wild. Alright, hear the animal. That's the animal sound. He did knock my brain gumball machine out, but whatever, it's fine. That item there, whatever you want to call it, let's call it the gumball machine. The gumball machine is usually worth 5 or 6K. It's not, but it is awkward in the cart. I want there to be room for me to put this other orb and be kind of stable and secure. These guys are more annoying than anything. If you notice in that corner, like, the surface was broken, so it's basically a hole. Sometimes there will be items and stuff down there. I don't really worry about it. There are shelves that, like, you can use as stairs to jump back up out of it. I mean, you might want to mess around with it. I think it's more trouble than it's worth, regardless of what may be down there. Definitely be mindful that in this room with the hole in the middle of the floor, that you can go to the elevated levels. There's like a second and third level you can go up to, and there could be any kind of items up there. You never know. A lot of the time, because of where it's located, if there are large items, you're going to need at least like 5 or 6 strength upgrades to move the really big stuff. Alright, these little platforms when you're jumping up, sometimes it can be a little tricky, as you can see. Do I drop this, or do I jump down with it? Maybe I should have jumped down with it. No biggie. Yeah, you want to look around while you're up there, because there could be anything up there. I've found one of the giant, like, graffiti horse statues at the very, very, very top of that IS ramp before. I made a video of it. It's in my list of videos. It's like a 4-minute video of just me getting that horse statue down. If you're interested. Okay, now this green cup, I'm just going to go ahead and carry it back here. This extraction here, there's a great big rectangle cutout hole right in front of the extraction door. You'll see it when I turn around. There you go. See that pit? I remember the day they put that, they updated this map and put that in there. And I forget what I was carrying. I was carrying some kind of item, like kind of like I was just carrying that green cup. It was something big I wanted to go ahead and take to the extraction, right? Oh. That's okay. This is really not as bad as it looks. Right. Yeah, whenever the opportunity presents itself, if I don't want to say in trouble, but there's any kind of action going on and you just kind of have to regroup and refocus, if you can elevate, that's always in your favor. Like almost any other shooting type game, high ground is an advantage. So, just something to keep in mind. But yeah, just to finish up about what I was saying, I was carrying something that extraction, like the first day that they had updated, the one with the rectangle pit right in front of the door, and I literally just walked right into the middle. But on the bright side, I only did it once. Lesson learned. Yeah, these gumball machines are awkward. The shapes of them in the cart. So I know the huntsman is chilling around here somewhere, but I also know that my health is such. Okay, his shots do 100 damage. If he hits you, it's 100 damage. I only have 80 HP, so if I get shot, my game's over. You know, as it is. So I'm not trying to get shot. Okay, so while that extraction is finishing, do some things. Okay, well, that pit just ate that orb. It's okay, though. There he is. Relax, guy. We should get this one, yeah. So I'm kind of checking the map. I'm looking at my weapons. I have plenty of ammo and everything that I'll need to get through the rest of the level. I am going to go ahead and use this other med, just in case. I might as well top off on it. I don't think I'll need it, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. These last two extracts, I feel like we can close those out pretty quickly. $40K in this card. I haven't really been keeping a mental count of the accumulated value that we have so far. I guessed 95K at the beginning. Let's see. Starting to feel like it's going to end up being more than that. It should be. 95K is not that much for level 7. Okay, yeah, I don't think so. Streetlights are always fun. Okay, I said we were going to be done quickly, but this might take a minute. Now, knowing what it takes to move that streetlight, I'm going to go ahead and I think knock out whatever rooms are left and go ahead and also take this bag to the 4th extraction. And you'll see why in a few minutes. Might as well go ahead and open this door. Now I want to go ahead and get this out of my card too, and I'll tell you why. The size of that orb is such that the top round part of it is higher than the top of the sides of the card, right? And I know, oh wow. So I know that I'm going to need to set this street light across the top of my cart. And if that orb were still in the cart, it would get in the way of that. That's why I got the orb out of my cart. Now this street light, for anyone who doesn't know, I think I've handled at least one of these in my previous videos. When you touch it, like you guys just saw, the light turns green, and then it turns yellow, and then it turns red. You can touch it no problem when it's green. You can be touching it no problem when it's yellow. And by touching, I mean with your grabber. But if you're touching it, if you're grabbing it, when it turns red, it will do an explosion, and it will knock you back, and it will do, I forget how much damage, 30, 40 damage, something like that. And it will also take off some of the value from it. So when you're handling it, you have to stop. You have to let it reset, because once you grab it once, it starts the process and go. It cycles through green, cycles through yellow, cycles through red. So you have, that short amount of time to move it wherever you need it to be before the light turns red, and then you have to let go and let it reset before you can move it again. So it can be weird to move around sometimes. Also, your cup is a cup, so you can set stuff in it. Don't forget that. That comes in handy when you're trying to move stuff around in the cart sometimes. Alright. Now, I'm not done with this yet. I'm going to stand this up straight. There we go. Now we're going to... Let's bag it up. Yeah, let's cash out. $76K? Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna be way more than 95K. Oh, you again. Okay. Yo, there's that glitch again. I'm not sure why sometimes there's no orb when you eliminate a monster. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. Something else that I know is a thing in this game is, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I know that after a certain amount of time on a map, the monsters respawn in a shorter amount of time than at the beginning of the map. You see no orb there either. It's wild. You see what I mean about the pulse pistol though? Like I only had to hit him, what, 3 times? It might have been 4. But still, even if I was to shoot him, the clown with a pistol, it takes 4 or 5 shots. Now, I don't know if you guys could tell, but those bangers, like, right before I started running at the end and got out of the way, that banger made a very specific, like, his wick that was burning made a different, louder, like, sizzling sound. And when you hear that sound, sprint out of the way before it explodes, and you'll not have to worry about him doing you any damage or knocking you back with his explosion. Okay, see, I want to get rid of this animal guy because I do not want him to be a problem when I'm trying to move around and I don't know where he is. When you grab him, he kind of freezes up for a second. So if you grab him and throw him and let go while you're throwing and then grab him again, you can kind of keep him stun locked. You know, if you time it right. That's a useful thing to know. Okay, so we're heading back to Extract 2, and that's going to be the end of the map. Well, I mean, once we get back to the truck, of course. I don't know what I thought was over there, but it's not. And I feel like I've said it about 1,000,000 times by now, but this is why we load everything up at the second extract early in the map. Leave it for last. Because now we are closest to the truck. Well, we are as close as we can be to the truck. Okay, so these guys gotta go. Yeah. Just like that. No, I didn't do a very good job of delegating my reserve of my stamina, or knowing exactly where I was in relation to the direction of the truck. Because if I had, I would have sprinted as close to the truck as I could have. But that's okay. We have everything we need. You can use the bangers as little weapons too. They come in handy for that. Now, I'm not trying to fight anything right now. The priority is getting to the truck and getting out of the map. Just kind of being careful in case anything spawned in here. No, we're good. Well, guys, that was level 7. I'll have level 8 loaded up and ready for you guys at some point soon.